So far in this WNBA season, Kelsey Mitchell has been a very controversial player. A lot of people think she's not compatible with Caitlin Clark. A lot of people think she's a ball hog. A lot of people think she needs to be traded to another team because she's being hindered by having to play with Caitlin Clark, and that the ball is having to be taken out of her hands, and she wants to be, the hero, and she wants to be, the Batman of the team, and she's forced to be Robin. There's been a whole lot of narratives going around with Kelsey Mitchell, and as of late, I really like the way she started playing off ball. You know what? I made videos about it a while back. I think Kelsey Mitchell is at her best when she's playing off ball because she gets to make use of the gravity that Caitlin Clark holds. If you know Caitlin Clark, you know that when she's on the court, a lot of defenders are going to be focused on her. She's going to pull a lot of attention, defensive attention. So Kelsey Mitchell can get open shots if she just moves around off ball. And we've seen a lot of that over these past few games. So today we're going to actually go over these plays, look at them, and just break down what exactly is happening and how Kelsey Mitchell is getting these open shots. I think she's finally figuring out how to play alongside Caitlin Clark in an effective way. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get into this video. Notice this first play. Kelsey Mitchell is pushing the pace in transition, and she stops on a dime. Now, we know good things happen when you push the pace in transition, but why did Kelsey Mitchell stop? She sees that the entire right wing is wide open, so she fakes taking the screen from Aaliyah and just goes right to the cup. She does miss the layup, but Aaliyah Boston gets the putback, so it works out. But I really like this shot attempt from Kelsey Mitchell because I like the fact that she is playing in the flow of the offense. And when I say she's playing in the flow of the offense, I mean she's taking what the defense gives her. The defense gave her a lane, so she took the lane. Now, you could go back to earlier in this play where Kelsey Mitchell decided to bring the ball up the court instead of giving it to Caitlin Clark. And I think, you know what, it's always best when Caitlin Clark is bringing the ball up the court. But then in some situations, if Kelsey Mitchell sees something, she sees she has an opening, she should take it. Like, it's best for the most part for Caitlin to bring the ball up the court because Caitlin is an amazing playmaker. But then Kelsey Mitchell is also a point guard. Like, people have to understand that. Kelsey Mitchell also ran the show for years. Like, she also can do things. She's obviously not a playmaker to the likes of Caitlin Clark. And obviously, if she brings the ball up the court, she's not going to be looking to playmake. She's going to be looking to shoot. But she can do things on her own, and I like seeing her taking the initiative when it makes sense. Now, I really like this play. This is one of the plays the Golden State Warriors will run a lot. Kelsey Mitchell is the inbounder, and she passes it, and the ball comes right back to her. And I like the fact that she only took 3 dribbles here. Kelsey Mitchell is at her best when she's not taking 10 dribbles. When Kelsey Mitchell takes more than 10 dribbles and she's going one-on-one trying to play hero ball, that is when things crumble for this team. That is when she's doing too much and she's putting a stick in the flow of the offense. She is at her best when she's very decisive. She gets the ball, and she's only going to do something with it when she sees she has something, and she gets straight to it. 1, 2, 3 dribbles, easy shot. I like this from Kelsey Mitchell, and I like how she's playing in the flow of the game. I like this play call. I like the set that we're running, and it's not just Kelsey Mitchell bail us out, go one-on-one, or Kelsey Mitchell go into the paint and shoot an uncontrolled layup. No, Kelsey Mitchell, you see an opening, you think you have an advantage against your defender, all right, take it. Those are the kind of plays I like from Kelsey Mitchell. If you go back to earlier in the year, there was a lot of Kelsey Mitchell going one-on-one. There was a whole lot of Kelsey Mitchell just taking shots that looked funny. Like, they looked weird. They looked like they weren't in the flow of the game. It didn't look normal. It looked abnormal. When you have Kelsey Mitchell playing in the flow of the game, playing normally, and just taking what the defense is giving her and playing a part of this offense and contributing in a way that helps the team and does not harm it, great things happen. Now, check out this next play. Kelsey Mitchell is moving off ball, kind of how Klay Thompson does, and she finds the ball because the defense is lacking. The defense is not paying that much attention to Kelsey Mitchell. That is the case for Kelsey Mitchell a whole lot of the time. She's a great player, but when you play with Caitlin Clark and play with an Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell will be the person who will be left open. Her defender will not be guarding her when she's out on that three-point line. She's going to get a whole lot of easy three-point looks just because of who she's playing with. It's not taken away from her game. It's just the truth. She is not better than Caitlin Clark or Aaliyah Boston. The defense is usually going to sag off her, and it gives her a lot of open looks. You love to see her taking advantage of that because it does not just help her, it helps her teammates. Because when the defense leaves someone open, if you can get the ball to that person, then that's how you beat the defense. Like, if they're daring you to shoot it and you can make the shot, then you won. I like these kinds of plays for Kelsey Mitchell because it goes against what she's used to. She's not usually an off-ball player. She's usually a player who brings the ball up the court and then calls ISO and then, goes one-on-one, dribble, one screen, and just, everybody plays off of her. I like to see her playing off other people because in the end, it's going to benefit her. Like I said, when Caitlin Clark is on that wing or Aaliyah Boston is down in that paint, the defense is going to collapse on one of the two. In this play, they're collapsing on Aaliyah Boston, and notice how Kelsey Mitchell is just left wide open. Notice how on this play she drills the shot. In the last game, she was not the best for the three-point line. I think she shot at 33%, but she is getting a lot of wide open looks, and she's going to drain them for the most part. She's a great shooter. Kelsey Mitchell is actually shooting at 37% from the three-point line this season. So I'm telling you, things go well when she's playing off ball. She's a great shooter. And when she plays off ball, don't forget that she can still backdoor cut. Don't forget that she can still use her touch around the rim. She's obviously best in the paint. But playing off ball does not mean that you can't go to the paint. It just means that once you catch the ball, you either have an easy lane, a few dribbles, you get there, or that means that you just backdoor cut, catch it, go straight up with it. It doesn't mean that you have to stop taking the shots you like to take. It just means the way in which you get those looks change. Check out this next play. Once again, the defense is just not that worried about Kelsey Mitchell. It benefits her because she gets open looks. Notice how the defense collapses on Caitlin Clark. You have many defenders looking at Caitlin, and it leaves Kelsey Mitchell wide open. It leaves Kelsey Mitchell wide open. And what has to be understood is that that defender who was guarding Caitlin Clark is actually Kelsey Mitchell's defender. The one that steps up to guard Caitlin Clark is supposed to be on Kelsey Mitchell. That's why she goes and closes out. Kelsey Mitchell is getting left wide open. Kelsey Mitchell should take advantage of that because eventually these defenses aren't going to be able to leave her wide open like that. And once they have to put more defensive attention on Kelsey Mitchell, then you have to leave Caitlin Clark a little bit more open. Then Aaliyah Boston gets better looks. This is why we want her to take advantage of these looks they're giving her. Because once you make the defense pay, then they can't play in the same way. It's going to benefit you in the end. It's going to benefit you right now. But right before we move on, I just want to say, notice how Kelsey Mitchell is running ahead in transition on this play. I want to give her props because she, as of, I guess, the last 5 to 6 games, has been running in transition so much. She's been running ahead. When Caitlin Clark gets the ball off an inbound or off a rebound and she starts pushing the pace, Kelsey Mitchell is always steps ahead of Caitlin Clark down the court because she's understanding that if she runs like a wide receiver, she's going to catch the ball. Her quarterback is Caitlin Clark, and she's just understanding that Caitlin Clark always wants to pass it. I'm loving what I'm seeing, and I just wanted to say that because Kelsey Mitchell has been running the floor amazingly. Now check out this next play because I really love it. Caitlin Clark brings the ball up the court and she calls for a pick and roll with Aaliyah Boston. And notice how all 3 of those defenders collapse on Caitlin, leaving Kelsey Mitchell wide open in that corner. She made that 3-point shot, and so far 2 of the 3 threes she's made in this game have been off-ball wide open looks. Kelsey Mitchell is getting great looks from the gravity that Caitlin Clark pulls, sometimes even from the gravity that Aaliyah Boston pulls, as we saw in that other play. Kelsey Mitchell is benefiting from just playing off-ball. Now, I thought I'd show at least one negative play from Kelsey Mitchell in this game so you guys can know exactly what I mean when I say I don't like these kind of plays from Kelsey Mitchell. She gets a steal and then pushes the pace in transition, and she just stops and shoots this ridiculous shot. She misses it terribly. But the part that I don't like is the fact that she's missing 2 players wide open on the left and on the right side of her. This happens a lot with Kelsey Mitchell where she just goes away from what is getting her success. A lot of the time, Kelsey Mitchell in that first quarter, she'll have a lot of shots in the mid-range, or she'll have a lot of easy layups or a lot of wide open threes like we've seen in this game. And then what Kelsey Mitchell will do is she'll start like calling her own number as if she got hot off these crazy step back Steph Curry threes. And those are the ones she'll take. She'll take these crazy James Harden double step back, crazy, ridiculous fadeaway, falling out of bounds threes. And it's like, no, that's not what got you hot. What got you hot was playing off ball. Take what the defense is giving you. You're making it harder on yourself. Now, before we break down this next play, I just want to say, for background purposes, earlier in this year, there was a whole lot of times where Caitlin Clark would get trapped and Kelsey Mitchell would sit there and just look at her. Like, there was a whole lot of times, Erica Wheeler included, they would just kind of sit there and look at Caitlin Clark get trapped and be like double teamed, and they wouldn't come to get the ball. And so she'd be trapped in that wing and it lead to a turnover. And it's like none of her teammates are coming to get the ball. Well, I want you to check out this play because even though it's not Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston ends up getting trapped on that wing, and Kelsey Mitchell just comes over to get the ball and bail Aaliyah Boston out. I like how she sees an opening, and even though she doesn't get the ball right where the opening is, she still is able to make something out of it. She's a very crafty player around that rim, and it's really great for her to come and make herself useful in these situations because it's these situations where you're usually going to have an opening. If the defense is collapsing on one player and you also have another big man in the paint, usually the defense is going to give you some kind of opening because there's so many people down low. She's just got to be slithery enough to find it. Usually players aren't able to find that opening unless they have real skill and real touch around the rim. Kelsey Mitchell has that. I really love this. These are the kind of plays you see Kyrie Irving make. These are the kind of plays you see Russell Westbrook make. These are the kind of plays you'll see Kelsey Mitchell make. These are the kind of plays I really like to see from her, and I like seeing her make herself useful here. Now check out this last and final play I'll show. Notice how Caitlin Clark dips her feet into the paint. Good things happen when she touches the paint. We've talked about that. The defense collapses on Caitlin Clark, and she's able to find an open Kelsey Mitchell. And Kelsey Mitchell doesn't even shoot the wide open shot. It was never really wide open, but she didn't shoot the shot where the defense was closing out. She waited. She hit her jab step. She took what she wanted. You don't have to just take every single shot you get, but take the look though, take the lane. Like she could have did one pump fake and went down to the lane there, and that would have still worked. Just make use of the fact that you'll have the defense on her toes. You'll have the defense scrambling because of Caitlin Clark, because of how much defensive attention she draws. You can just fill in these holes the defense leaves open. That's what I like to see from Kelsey Mitchell, and I really like the way she played this game. There were a lot of plays where it was kind of iffy. There was some, plays that it wasn't a shot, and she was bringing the ball up the court, and she may have did something funny, right? But Kelsey Mitchell, for the most part, has been improving. For the most part, she's been playing off ball. She's been catching it, and she's been shooting it. She's been backdoor cutting, and she's just been running ahead in transition and just making use of the fact that Caitlin Clark is going to find her, trusting Caitlin Clark more. I've seen a lot of less plays where Kelsey Mitchell, when Caitlin Clark is bringing the ball up the court, Kelsey Mitchell acting for the ball. No, I haven't seen a lot of that over the past 5 games. I've seen a lot of Kelsey Mitchell just going off to the side somewhere and not trying to take the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands. And I've seen a lot of Caitlin Clark finding Kelsey Mitchell when Kelsey Mitchell is open. So these two players can really play together as long as they both make an effort to play their role and benefit the other player as they play it. And I think at times Kelsey Mitchell is a big problem because of how ball dominant she is. But just because you're a ball dominant player does not mean you can't work out with another player who's also ball dominant. We've seen it with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. I've given an analogy before. Kyrie Irving is a ball dominant player, but he has taken the backseat to Luka Doncic, and it has worked well enough for them to get to the finals and even take a game from the best team in the NBA. They lost, but they got all the way to the finals. They beat a lot of big teams on the way. They beat the Clippers. They beat the Thunder. They even beat the Timberwolves. They beat big time teams that a lot of people didn't pick them to beat because of the fact that Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic played off each other. It can work, and I think it will work as we go on. I think Kelsey Mitchell is putting more and more trust in Caitlin Clark. We know she's a dog. She's a great player, and she plays like it, right? She plays like she's a superstar. She plays like she is a franchise player. Kelsey Mitchell plays that way. She can still be, a great scorer as long as she's playing off ball. But that's all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. And yeah, somebody said that he wanted to see me have more than one Fever video per game. So this is your second video per game. I know I didn't post yesterday. Sorry about that, but I got y'all today. Hope y'all enjoyed. I certainly did. Peace out.